To what extent are you willing your partner to change you?
Everything. We were chatting with Sparky earlier.
What do you mean?
Sparky on day one will look at a lady in her eyes and say, I love you.
Ndana, why?
I want you to have all my kids.
Why?
Take my son.
I don't know about all my kids.
He's desperate.
I don't know if I don't know about first day, but like in the cliche finding or what? No, but like.
But what is it?
No. But like if you
You need to go with the mic wherever you go.
yeah, if you. No. I'm
It's an equivalent of
No. Wait. You brought something up, so I obviously need to think about it and
Sure.
thought process. For me, I'm a go big or go home kind of person. So if you are putting yourself in a space where you're saying like for me, it's balls to the wall. You know what I mean?
English is such a funny language. Balls to the wall.
Yeah.
balls. Yeah.
So umuntu mawufila a certain way ngaye and mawusuwenze a certain commitment kuyena or naye
after like 3 days, though.
After a second. After a second.
Okay.
Because I've made that commitment. We made the analogy of jumping into a pool. Yeah?
Sure.
Magbanda, pozo. You know what that feels like. You're never gonna get in that pool. But mawushaya we uzongena into that pool. Because what the aim is, ukutungene. Right?
You're desperate for love.
But swimming pool and women are not the same.
Just laugh.
What
do you mean?
He's desperate for love.
Desperate.
So anyway, so if there's one thing that Spock and I can relate with is Achola, man.
Yeah. Do you guys, are those people, you share your people online and yonke?
Kanjani? Like uma post.
Yeah.
Azi, loma gogo naye mina ngiyaqala ukupost. So I've never been a posting person. Until now, because she's a posting person and she's I love loud. Excuse me. She's like, I love loud. And I'm like, okay, do you? To a point where you're asking about what extent you allow a female to change you. Females don't just change you. They just move the needle. And it's still 1, 2, And for me, with something like that, because I was always against, you've never seen me post anyone, Only female I post is like my mom and my sister. All of a sudden, now I post so it's different for me.
Yeah, but I also think it's the reasoning behind all of those things, dude. Because I think you talk about like things like love language. Sure. Like what is your love language? And it's for me what I've come to find out in my many experiences is that it's not just like a blanket, sort of premise that you set. Sure. It depends on the person, because also you need to be very respectful of what also the other person, requires in the space of everything we inside. Because mina ngathanda ukuthi ngibe umuntu postayo, but umuntu enginaye may not necessarily like that, as much as it can be a thing that it's cute, it's great, but for them with other things, the posting thing becomes like it implicates my family ngikhuliswe kanjani, for example, you know what I mean? Some people are okay with it, some people are not. So you always have to negotiate those kind of things. But there are those moments where you just feel like
but Sparks, you've also in the past been with, I don't want to use the word high profile, but like people with a big following and an influence. So I think it's also different from a career point with them, Whereas if you are with a sister, let's say she just works as an accountant, as an example, she might see it differently. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean, true. But like, I also just think, Uguti, everything is relative because we have to have a common denominator. I mean, I've also been with people who weren't necessarily in my industry, but I was still sort of loving loud in that way. It just meant people weren't really, because also I wasn't in the spotlight as much. Do you know what I mean? Like I hadn't reached a certain level in my career, but I was doing the same thing. Like I was posting, or I was, stories, or telling people about this.
He's the most romantic guy ever.
You look like you're not romantic.
Mina,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking toxic. I'm talking toxic, man. I was saying, what was I saying? I was like, the last time I cooked like a full meal, probably like when I was in grade 11.
Yeah.
Ang pegi, ang washi, ang aini, ang so I'm called toxic, bro. Ang Zane's listen to this.
So when
he makes amazing breakfast. He loves loud. I mean, the first time I knew Sparky, loves loud. We must know it's okay. Sparky get no sis, yo. And give me, I'm like, so much when everybody knows your business.
Oh, kangaranjani.
But I mean, back then. No, now.
How much
now?
Man, I think
Back then. Back.
Way.
1990. Yabon.
Just as a primary.
Just as a primary. Kusaphethe umbheki. Dala. Sasijole ekufihlakaleni khona sizokwazi ukuthi sigange yabona. Because then ngeke ungibambe ukuthi nginoba.
Mina posting no. Aye.
Is she a poster?
50. She's 50.
Okay, why?
I'm saying about the relationship. Does she post about your relationship?
No, they mustn't post about us. She mustn't.
Okay.
So the conversation, I told her not to.
She's never been that person.
No, she wants to post, but me, I don't want her to post about me. She can post about anything else, but not me.
Looks soft niche. It depends, as Bucky was saying, how serious she wants that thing that she wants.
No, that person is in this industry. I'm
saying. But besides
following the reason why for me the posting I don't want it to happen is because I'm afraid if I get posted, how maybe I might change.